Hey traders, John Howell here. Today's video is going to be a bit different in, I want to talk about my boxing match that I just had and why it actually relates to a lot to trading. And if you're trading the markets right now, which I assume you are, you're watching me. So, if you're trading the markets right now and you're involved with the markets, I'm going to talk a lot about my boxing match and how a lot of the boxing relates to also trading. And I think a lot of the skills that I have in trading, I also used in the boxing match to actually get the good old W, the win. All right. So the first thing that I want to talk about is that I'm really excited that it was my very first boxing match, and I did get the win. The W. So this is the winner here, as you can see. So the big W, I got the trophy. So that was really exciting to actually get once again to get the win and the W. On that, you also could see some photos here. This photo you're looking at right now is obviously me in the match. Obviously that's me raising my hands right now with with obviously, and that was when I just got announced that I won my boxing match. And then also you can see this next photo here. This is obviously me in the magazine. Obviously the person I was fighting against, and you can see what was happening there. So anyway, so let me tell you about how all this got started, guys, when it comes to my boxing match and how it all came about and what actually happened. See, guys, back over 3 months ago, I actually went and watched one of my friends named Dana. She was actually doing a kickboxing fight, and so I went and watched her fight. And what happened is after she had her kickboxing fight, we all went out to dinner. And at dinner, she actually said that her gym that she goes to is doing a 12-week challenge. Now, the 12-week challenge is simply you train for 12 weeks and then they pair you up with someone for a fight. I'm like, okay, cool. Now, the interesting thing is that I was looking for something more I was looking for a challenge this year. I've been trading the markets now for 16 years. I do really well from trading. And it's, to me, it's just a mechanical thing. You trade, it's just a mechanical thing with trading, right? So trading is not really that exciting to me. Now I have a passion for it because it allows me to do what I want. And I love the hunt of looking for good trades and stuff like that. But I was really looking for a challenge, and I really wanted a physical challenge. And I was thinking, do I do like a powerlifting competition? Do I do like a marathon? Do I train for a marathon? Do I do like a bodybuilding competition? Like, what do I do here? And I've always been asking that pretty much since the start of the year. And when Dana, my friend, said that, there's this boxing match coming up, you should do it. This was a Saturday night. And so anyway, what happened was that I thought about it, and then come Monday morning, I went and did a training session at the gym, and she was there, and she goes, "So are you going to do the fight? Are you going to do the challenge, 12-week challenge, then a fight?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm going to do it." So I signed up that day, and then the journey started for me. Now, this is where it starts to go downhill big time for me, because here's a few things that actually happened along my trading journey, and what it's actually like to be a trader in the markets. And I want to relate this back to my boxing, to actually getting in the ring and fighting, and what you're going to experience as a trader, and what has happened to me over the last 16 years. And this is where it really gets pretty funky. And if you want to end up getting the trophy, the W in your trading, then I want to neutralize your journey and say that there's going to be a lot of bumps along the way. And it's how you handle those bumps along the way is whether you become a good trader or not. And so, as I said, I started this video off by saying I'm going to correlate the trading to correlate the trading to obviously to my boxing match. So anyway, I started training for my boxing 12 weeks into it. I started training, And then I got to week, so I think it's roughly around, 12 weeks into it, 11 weeks into it, 10 weeks into it, and roughly around 9, 10 weeks out from my boxing match, I did my back in. I had a bulging disc and I didn't know what to do. And it was painful as hell. I was bedridden for a few days. I could hardly move. I couldn't train. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. I went and saw the chiropractor and he said I got a bulging disc. And yeah, so I ended up getting a massage and all that sort of stuff. And I'm just like, man, how long is this going to take to fix? I've only got 9 or 10 weeks to get ready for my boxing match. How long is this going to take to fix? And so what ended up happening was, that's the first little blip on the screen, right? It's like, okay, then I've now got to get through this. Like, is this going to take a week to get over? It's going to take a month to get over? It's going to take 2 months to get over? Like, I don't know. Like, here I am trying to prepare for my first fight. Like, I'm not a boxer, right? I'm not a boxer. I don't know anything about boxing. I've just started training. I don't know anything about the footwork or, even how to throw a punch. I'm hopeless, right? Some people probably still say I am, but anyway, it's okay. So I did my back in. I'm like, oh my goodness, like, how long is this setback going to last? Is it going to be a week or so? And I thought, you know what? I need to do whatever I can to get back onto a speedy recovery as quick as I can. So I did everything possible to get a speedy recovery. And within about a week of me doing foam rolling, massages, stretching every day, hot and cold treatments, just doing whatever I can, stretching 2, 3, 4 times a day, foam rolling, all that sort of stuff. Within, say, around about a week, it was 80% better and I could go back to the gym and I could start training again. And then within about, say, a couple of weeks, maybe a bit longer, it was back to pretty much normal and it was good to go, right? So here we are now. That was roughly around 10 weeks. And so here we are now. I took a couple of weeks, maybe a bit longer. So I'm around about maybe 7 to 8 weeks out for my boxing. So I might be around say 2 months now before my actual boxing fight. And here I am, spent half my time just trying to take care of my back. I'm thinking, damn, I really need to get my shit sorted here. So what ended up happening was I started training, right? I started getting some PT sessions with my coach, who was just focused on the techniques of the footwork and the punches and the combinations and stuff like that. Like I'm starting from absolute beginner, but I also knew I needed to start to run a lot as well too, so I could actually start to, my fitness level could really, really pick up, because that's what boxers do. They run and so on and so forth. So what ended up happening was I was doing that around about 2 months out to it. I started to run and stuff like that. And then roughly around, I'd have to say maybe around 6 weeks, maybe 5 weeks out to my fight, 5 to 6 weeks, somewhere around there, out to my fight. So I had 5, 6 weeks left to my fight. I did my knee in. I'm like, oh my goodness. A couple of weeks ago, I just got off my back, and now I did my knee in, and my knee just swelled up. I was halfway through an 8K jog. I apologize, I don't know what that is in miles, but here I was through an 8K jog. And so what ended up happening was halfway through an 8K jog, which is 4Ks, suddenly my knee went on me. It was painful. It started to swell up, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, here we go again. So here's another hit against me to say, okay, then maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this boxing thing. First it was my back, now it's my knee. Oh my goodness. And now I could hardly walk because it's so painful even to walk on. Like, I live in a 2-story house, so walking up and down the stairs, oh my goodness, just walking around was painful as hell. And so I was basically, I could hardly walk. And so I went to the physio again, or the physio and the chiropractor and all that sort of stuff to get some work done. And thankfully I found out that it was runner's knee, and you get that when you do a lot of running. So I'm just like, okay then. So this actually, and so I realized that I needed to take it easy. So I had to step back on my training. Here I am 5, 6 weeks out, a month, just over a month and a half out to my fight first fight, and I'm supposed to be doing a lot of running, a lot of jogging, and just to get going. So I'm thinking, oh man, here we go. First my back, now my knee. And so I had to take a week off. But within that week, I stretched it. I did a lot of stuff. But one thing I realized was that it was because my hamstrings were tight and my calves were tight that it was putting a lot of pressure on my knees. And also my glutes were tight as well. So it was putting a lot of pressure on my knees. That's why my knee gave out. I didn't realize I was putting so much pressure on it. So cut a long story short, there was about maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks of just trying to get that a lot better, trying to get a lot of mobility back into my knee. And then roughly about a month out, maybe a month, somewhere around about there, I started to get a lot better on my knee so I could go back and start to train again. And so I went back and I started to do, some footwork again with my coach and all that sort of footwork and punches and combinations, learning the boxing techniques. And then so I was doing that, and then I started doing some cardio, but not running, but more like treadmill work and stuff like that. Incline work, stairmaster work, just to try to keep my cardio going without putting too much pressure on my knees. And so I did that, and then suddenly here I am 2 weeks out to my fight, and I get hit with this massive chest infection. Like, it was bad as hell. Absolutely bad as hell. And I woke up and I couldn't breathe sometimes. COVID, right? The vid. Oh no, the vid. Right? I woke up and I'm like, oh my goodness, I couldn't breathe sometimes in my chest. I was coughing up major green and just chunks of phlegm. And I had this headache. I felt totally exhausted all the time. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. Here I am about 2 weeks out to my fight. Somewhere around about maybe 2 to 3 weeks out. Somewhere about there. And here I am now. I'm getting that. I'm getting now another knock. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this last couple of months have been knocking me over big time, trying to prepare for this thing. And so first it was my back, then it was my knee, and now I've been hit with this massive chest infection. I've got a fever. I've been getting headaches. My energy has just been smashed through the floor. I'm so tired all the time. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, how am I going to get over this? And so, cut a story short, talk about what happened there is that I just had to push through. And even though I felt tired and exhausted, I just had to go do some cardio. I had to just do whatever I could on those days just to try to slowly push through. Now, I did take a couple of days off, just try to relax, and I did a lot of hot tea and lemon and stuff like that, just to do whatever I can to clean my chest out, just to really clean it out, and to do stuff like that. I just started doing like a lot of lemon water as well too, first in the morning, to clean the gunk out and so on and so forth. And it was bad. And then, so that was 2 to 3 weeks out. So I was doing that for about maybe a week. And then I had maybe 1 to 2 weeks, somewhere around about there anyway, of pretty good health. And then now I could go full on into the training to get ready to prepare for my fight, as well as dieting down to just a crazy weight to actually make weight in the boxing. So, and obviously I did the boxing, and then what ended up happening was on the fight night, on actually the boxing night itself, what ended up happening was I am normally in bed really early. I'm normally going to bed about 7, 8 o'clock at night because I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do my trading, which is 5 o'clock in the morning on the US stock market, because I live here in Australia, so it's in the US stock market. So, and here I am now, and now it's like 9 o'clock at night, and I'm fighting at 9 o'clock at night, which my body clock is normally asleep. So I had to do whatever I can to stay awake, and so on and so forth. Anyway, the good thing is that I got the W, I got the win, and it was good. But even in the match, and this is something that's really important as a trader, and I'm going to get to the trading part, but I wanted to give you the background story of the fight and the knockbacks I've had. But even in the match, I had three rounds. First 2 rounds, I was pretty good. Third round, I started getting really tired, and he really started to hit me. And I had 2 choices at that time. One, I could just back off. 2 choices. One, I could just frantically just get out of control and just feel and just freak out and just try to like get myself out of it. Or secondly, I could stay calm, strategize, think about it, and come back and get him. Which I did the latter, right? He was giving me a few good punches in the last round. And I was thinking, man, if I don't step up my game here, I'm going to really lose this last round. And I may even lose this match. And that's what I don't want that. And so what ended up happening was halfway through the second round when that was happening, I had to step back, I had to recoup, and then go again. And I ended up getting the winner. As I said before, I ended up getting the W for that. Now, I tell you that story, and thank you. You're obviously still watching it right now, so I thank you for sticking around with that story there. But I really wanted to dig deep into that story and tell you that story because that's exactly what happens along the way with your trading journey. You're going to start the trading journey, or you're on your trading journey now. And when I first started trading, I got so many smacks. Just like with my boxing, I did my back in, my knee in, and so on and so forth. When you first start trading, you're going to get your whacks. You're going to get your big stop outs. You're going to have your big losses because you load up too much. Things are not going to work out well for you, And, you're going to get in at the wrong time. You're going to get out at the wrong time. You might follow someone's advice to get in, and then that's a losing trade. And you're like, oh, why did I do that for? And then you might be on a winning streak, and then your ego gets too big, and then suddenly you get the whack because you double up and double up and double up. And then suddenly you've had now 3 wins, 1 loss, but that 1 loss wipes out all those profits. Some of you guys that are watching this right now know exactly what I'm talking about because that's what happened to me, right? 16 years, my first 3-4 years, probably in 5 years, was absolutely just horrible. And so you're going to get those smacks in life, and especially in trading. But the ones who do well out of trading, the ones who do well, apply the thoughts around what I did with my boxing, right? Every little setback, I didn't quit. I'm saying, oh, this is just not for me. It's too hard. I stepped back. I thought about it. I reassessed. And then a few days later, I went back at it again. And I went back at it again. Now, obviously, you don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. But within your trading, that's what's likely to happen, especially in your first maybe couple of years of trading. That's just the way that it works. Now, you can shortcut that you getting coaching and so on and so forth. But there's a big learning curve if you want to be a professional long-term trader in the markets. You're going to get your slaps. You're going to be smacked around. You may even blow up a few trading accounts. The king. Well, back in my day anyway, I haven't done that in 10 years, but I was the king of blowing up a trading accounts. I would make money for my job, putting in a trading account and blow that up. And I'd go work again, save for a few weeks, maybe a month, put in the trading account and blow it up. It's just it's like nothing, right? So I was spinning my wheels. And so if you're going through a period right now in your trading, and I'm going to relate that back to my boxing, that where you're getting smacked around, then I really want you to step back and think about what you're doing and how to move forward. And one of the best things I do say is that even if you're getting smacks right now, this is not the end, because every single trader gets these whacks. But it's within these whacks determines, okay, then a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, you're going to be a much better trader because of these whacks. And I remember one time, we talk about a whack. I remember, living at my mother and father-in-law's place because I just lost everything. I borrowed some money from my father-in-law, and what ended up happening was I was trading the futures market at nighttime, and like overnight, I lost 50% of my trading account in one night. It was just absolutely oh my goodness. I just blew up 50% of my entire account in one night. And it was just horrible. And so you're going to do that. You're going to get your smacks. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a tough road there, along there. But I promise you that if you just try to stay in the game And the biggest thing I can say is don't risk a lot when you're first starting out. Don't try to go all in. Don't try to go for the home runs because you're going to make a lot of mistakes. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. You know, and when you're actually in there and you're in your element and in your trading, just like when I was actually in my boxing match, sometimes when you're getting those few losses in a row, like me when I was getting that last round, I was starting to get those hits. Sometimes the best thing to do is step back and not trade. Don't be part of the market. Look at the way you're trading and ask yourself, am I being consistent at following a plan? And 90% of the time or 99% of the time, the answer is no. Because if you were following a plan, the plan result involves having a setup, an entry signal off that setup, and money management to protect yourself just in case it's a losing trade. And every single time the reason why I did so badly my first 5 years out of my last 16 years of trading, the reason why I did so badly was because I didn't have those things. I didn't have a plan of attack. I didn't have a setup that I was trading. I didn't have an entry signal off that setup. And I didn't have good money management. I was all over the place. I was like 50% of my trading account in one trade. Sometimes 100%, just loading up on one position, hoping for the big win. And then, you know, I might be 2 or 3 or 4 really good trades in a row. By doing that, and suddenly, bam, right, I get the big whack. And then I have to step back and reassess and re-look at what I'm doing. Look at my trades, look at my plan. If I don't have a plan, I need to get a plan. AKA a system that I'm trading, and then I need to make sure I apply a level of management or risk management to that. And we all heard that before, right? It's like risk management. When you apply the good risk management to the markets, you assure yourself that you're not going to blow yourself up, because you may do well out of 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 trades, right? But all it takes is just that one really bad trade, and not only have you just lost all that profit, but now you're in the black hole. You don't want to set yourself up like that. You want to set yourself up with good risk management to where, me personally, I don't like putting any more than, say, a couple percent, maybe 2 to 3% risk per trade on my account. So if I have a couple of losing trades on my account, I might be down maybe 5, maybe 10% if I had like a couple of consecutive losses in a row. See, I just had 10%, right? But I also want to be in a situation that if I had 3 or 4 profits in a row, that one loss only takes away a quarter of my profits and I'm still up. I don't ever want to put myself in a position where I have the potential to do really well 2 or 3 or 4 times, and just one bad trade is going to wipe it all out. Because that's not trading long-term, right? Because long-term trading is all about having a good win-loss ratio. And it wasn't until my mentor explained this stuff to me of how he was a 7-figure, how he still is, a 7-figure trader, and I was a barge ass living at my mother and father-in-law's because I just lost everything because of the way that I was trading. I started to shift, and I realized the more disciplined I am of sticking to the setup that I believe in, applying good money management to that, the more that I did those 2 things, only take the setup that I believe in every single time and having good money management, things started to really turn for me. And then over the year, I'd have really, really, really good years. I have really, really good income from trading, from having that perspective now. And it doesn't mean every week I make money. No. It doesn't mean every month I make money. No. The way that trading works is I have a setup. Sometimes I don't get a setup in a whole month. This is the way trading works, right? It's just the nature of the beast. Sometimes the market's not going to give you the setups. And then sometimes the market's going to give you a lot of good setups the next month. Or you might have 1 month where you might have a pretty much even win-loss ratio, and your count might not be up, might not be down, it might be just pretty flat from the trading that week, or that month. And then the next month you might trade, and like, oh my goodness, I've just had 5 really good trades, most of them are profits, and my count's up 25%. Oh my goodness, yeehaw. But then if you look at the whole year, and you do that over the whole year, that's when things started to compound. So I really hope that today's session has brought you some light. If you are struggling with your trading right now, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club, because that was the journey that we all had to go through, right? And you all have to go through. Now, my encouragement to you is that if you are going through those periods and you are going backwards, then you just start to learn something. You know, like for me personally, guys, if you'd like to learn from me personally and how I trade the markets and my trading setup, and more about what I've just talked about here about going from losing money to making money, how I scan the markets to find trades, then I'm running a training, and you could join it today. If you see that, there should be a link in the description, or go to John's, JOHNS, free, or johnslivetraining.com, JOHNS, livetraining.com, John's, JOHNS, livetraining.com, or there should be a link down the bottom there. Click on that and go join my next webinar. And on that webinar, I'll show you exactly the main things I'm talking about here, right? That took me from $250,000 in debt, lost $250,000 to then becoming a full-time trader, making a full-time income throughout the year, right? Stuff that I'm talking about right now. And then also on that there, I'll show you my setup. So if you're looking for an actual trading setup, I'll show you my trading system. I'll show you exactly what I look for to actually trade the markets. And then I'll also show you exactly how I scan the markets to find the trades and so on and so forth. Whether you're trading the futures market, the stock market, or crypto market or whatever, you'll be able to apply this to your trading and start to do really, really well from it. So guys, my only big hope in providing this video for you is that you see that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And that's what kept me in the game. My first 4 or 5 years of just going through hell of this markets. It's one thing that's kept me in the market is that I would rather have a slow, gradual, hard pain, slow just plan, a slow plan. I can't talk. I'd rather have a slow plan, a slow, gradual 10, even 15-year plan to be financially free than having a 40, 50-year dead-end job, broke-ass retirement plan, stay in a job for the rest of my life, etc., etc. And that's the thing that stuck me with trading, and I know it can do for you. You just got to be open-minded of some things I've talked about today, and start to structure you. Like, then where do I personally need to start working on? So anyway, guys, hope this helped you out. Make sure you go to John's, JOHNS, livetraining.com. Make sure you go there right now. I'm going to talk to you about the 3 secrets. Secret number 1 is what actually helped me get over the hurdle from losing money to making money. Then my trading system, and then how I scan for these trades, or I'll show you my scanning software to actually how to scan for the trades, and so I can show you exactly how I trade with only 1 hour per day. Thanks, guys. Click on the link in the description. I hope today's video really helps you out, and I'll see you real soon.